Hi, Beck, Barry Horn, and euphonium players. Mr. Marr here. Hope you're all doing well. In case you haven't been playing your instrument, you took a little break over the summer. I'm hoping this video will help you remember or review some basic maintenance and playing tips so that you could get the year started off right. So the very first thing I want to cover is something that we don't really talk enough about in band class, and you may have learned it in elementary school, but I think we could do it a little more thorough. How to oil your valves. So every time you play, you're going to want to oil your valves. And what you probably learned in elementary school was you turned your instrument upside down and you put oil in the holes on the bottom of the valves and worked the valves and got oil all over your fingers. That uses a lot of oil, and it's not the most effective way to do it. So what you want to do is, first of all, before you oil your valves, get rid of the mouthpiece so your mouthpiece doesn't hit the ground when you start this process. You want to put your Bari horn on your legs, and you're going to want to unscrew the valve. So the screw for the valve, is right here on the instrument. You unscrew it, and when it's down on your legs, you don't have to pull the entire valve out of the instrument. Now, you may need to, if your instrument may need a bath if you haven't played it in a while, then you're going to have to pull the valve out, trace it, and put it back in. But all you have to do is just pull it out a little bit. You want to get into a spot where you're not going to spill oil on your lap or your jeans or your chair. So I usually like to keep where it's going to drop in between my legs. But it shouldn't really drop at all if you just use a little bit. That's all you need. You just a few dabs and turn the valve while you're doing it around. So I put little dabs. I turn the valve, real quick. And then when I'm done, just pop it back in. So I'm sure you're aware, most Bari horn euphoniums, their valves have like a little tab you have to line up. So you just kind of twist it around. You find a spot where it drops in, and then you screw this back on. And you repeat that process, on each valve, and then you're ready to go. It does not take long. If you do it every day just in that way, you get done pretty quick. Now you're going to have to take the whole thing out. If you haven't played your horn in a while, you may need to take the whole thing out and wet the whole valve and put it back in. All right, so it's just something important to know. Also, your valves may be frozen. So if you haven't used your Bari horn in a while, your valves may be frozen. You need to get the instrument to me or to a repairman so we can unfreeze them and get you back in gear again. So the best thing to avoid your valves getting frozen is A, to oil it before you play, and B, to play your instrument as much as possible. The more you play it, the more those valves get worked and they won't freeze in place. The other thing you're going to want to do, and you need to do this about once a month, is grease your slides. So there's tons of slides on your instrument. Each valve probably has one, to say the least. So you're going to want to take the slide out. All right, so the first thing, I'm going to do my first valve slide. So if you're going to do a valve slide, right, you got to push the valve down, and then you can pull the slide right out. It's right here, right? You might want to, empty it in case there's any spit on it, right? And these will be frozen in place unless you put grease on them about once a month. So once you have the slide out, you take paper towel or something, wipe off the old grease. And then you need to take what's called slide grease. It comes in all different kinds of tubes and bottles, and we have some at back if you need it. You get some on your finger, and you put it, all along this slide here. So once it's on there, you feel like you've gotten it around the whole thing. It shouldn't take you too long. You don't need to use a lot. You're going to take it and you're going to kind of work each side of it, spinning it around just one part of the slide at a time in both entranceways here. Both. All right. Once you have that, this is so easy, it's just like flying out. You take it and push it all the way in, right? Oh, by the way, what I should do is when you push it in or pull it out, you want to close the valve that you're changing because there's a vacuum. So once it's pushed all the way in, you'll see some excess. You wipe it off with the paper towel, and you're good to go. It's been greased, so they won't get stuck. If they get stuck, you got to bring your instrument to me, and I'll try to unstick them, or you have to take it to a professional repairman to get them done. Depends on how badly frozen they are. You're going to want to do that once a month on every slide you have. Now, probably every valve you have has a slide. So 3, to 4 slides a month. It doesn't take long, but it helps your instrument play better, and you'll be able to tune it more effectively if you can actually move these slides. So hope that helps you guys out. And all right, on to the next part. Good posture plays a huge role in getting a good sound and being able to play the baritone horn or the euphonium. And in order to play with good posture, you have to hold the instrument correctly. Now, there's all different horns are made, and there's all different ways to hold them. Some go to the right, others go to the left. Others have different kinds of tubing. But in general, you want to be able to sit up straight when you play, so your air can go through your body and into your horn without getting stopped anywhere. And your left hand is what's going to hold the horn up to your mouth, to your body. So you should be sitting up straight. You bring the horn to you. You don't keep it down here and bring yourself to the horn and hunch over. You hold the horn up and bring it to you. Now, your right hand goes on the valves. So this doesn't have like a ring for my thumb. Some of them do, and depending on what side you face, you would do different things. But on this particular horn, I find it right here. Right hand on the valves, fingers nice and curled, left hand holding the horn up. Now, some of you may be small, may be tough to actually hold this horn up. It is pretty heavy, and to do it for a while takes some strength. If you need help with that, get a towel and fold it and put it on your lap. You can place the horn on that. Just make sure when you do, you can sit up and get to it straight. That's essentially how you're going to hold this instrument, and your posture. You want to be up as straight as possible so that your air goes right through. All right. So hope that helps you out. Getting a sound out, a good sound on a baritone horn or euphonium is all about the buzz that you make that goes into this mouthpiece and then into the horn itself. And buzzing is really important. So, there's exercises you can do buzzing into the mouthpiece. There's warm-ups you can do where you just buzz your lips. It's a major, major part to brass playing. So to get a decent buzz, you want to make the correct embouchure. So the embouchure you make when you play baritone horn, you kind of have like a sour face, like you ate something sour. Corners go up and back, and that puts your lips together when those corners pull back, and it's just tight. And when you blow air into that, that's how you get the buzz. That goes into the mouthpiece, right, and then into the horn, and that's how you play it. So you want to make sure you have a good buzz going in to get the best sound possible. The other way you can think about it, instead of actually thinking about buzzing your lips into the horn, you can form the embouchure. Right, put the horn up to your face by holding it up with your left hand. Right, if the embouchure is right, just blow. Right, you should automatically make a buzz and get a sound. Now that can get you started. If you haven't played in a while and your buzz, you're not too confident on it, just try putting the instrument up to your face, forming the embouchure, and blowing, and you'll get a sound. You may even get a nice sound. A lot of people approach playing brass instruments without actually thinking about the buzz. So it's not the most common thing to do, but it is something that some methods people are using. So you could try on this baritone horn, just blowing in and seeing if that works for you. All right, so that's getting a sound out. In order to separate notes on a baritone horn or a euphonium, you're going to have to tongue. So tonguing is kind of when you're making a musical phrase, tonguing is like showing the syllables or the words. So if I was communicating with you and asked you a question, I said, "How's it going?" or "How are you doing today?" I made that statement or asked that question in one breath. It's just that my lips and my tongue and the way I moved my mouth, it separated the syllables and the words so that you understood it. It wasn't all slurred together. Same thing applies when you're playing a musical instrument. You're going to play a phrase of music, but you need to separate the parts of it, the notes. You do that by tonguing. In order to tongue, you're going to want to think of the word to. That's T-U because you want this out. To, to. And you don't want your jaw to move. To. Not T-O. You don't want your lips to come in like an O. You need it out. To. When you say the word to, T-U, your tongue is going to hit where your gums meet your top teeth around there. And what happens is your air never stops moving when you tongue. Your tongue just comes up and interrupts the air and flicks off of that spot where your gums meet the teeth, and that separates the note. So just to show you as an example, a lot of people when they're playing and they're just learning on these instruments, they separate the notes with puffs of air. You like that, using a separate shot of air. Now that doesn't sound too pleasant, right? And the way to refine it is by using tonguing. So if you tongue, your air never stops moving, but your tongue just separates a note by doing what it does when you say the word two. Which is much more pleasant than what I did before with separate shots of air. You may not be used to tonguing, and especially you may not be used to moving your air while you're tonguing and attacking the notes. So something you can do to help out is to try to an exercise to just try to get your body used to what it feels like. So all you're going to do is hold out an open note. For this one, I'm going to do it on concert F, which would be G if you're reading treble clef. Right? You're going to hold the note out for 4 beats, that note, G or F, and then I'm going to tongue 4 separate quarter notes on it. It's important to note when you hold out the note, you do the same thing with your air when you tongue the notes that you do when you hold the notes out. It never stops moving, and your tongue just separates it. It'll sound like this if I count it off. 3, 10. So the air never stops. Ta, 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 and you just keep pushing, just like you were singing. All right, let's try it together. So on concert F, G for any treble clef players, get that baritone horn or euphonium held up right, straight up to your face, your fingers in a good curled position. We're going to hold concert F or G out for 4 beats and then 4 separate quarter notes. 1, 2, ready, and so you could do that slower, you could do it faster, you could do it on all different kinds of notes. The idea is you just keep doing it over and over again, trying. Even if you fail, you just keep going for it. Eventually, your body realizes what it needs to do to separate the notes and move the air. And once it does, you could do it forever. So I hope that helps you learn how to separate the notes better and do some correct tonguing. Last thing we're going to do is just a little exercise, a little warm up having to do with lip slurs. That'll help you get used to or warmed up and ready to play or just used to playing again if you haven't played in a while. These lip slurs are going to be off a basic chromatic finger combination, which will be up at the bottom of your screen. You're going to go open, 2, 1, 12, 23, 13, 123. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to start on a concert F or G if you're reading treble clef. And what I just did there was a lip slur from concert F to concert B flat and back to concert F. Treble clef would be G, C, G. I never took the horn off my face. I never stopped my air. I just changed the velocity of it. So I need to play a higher note, I push the air harder or faster. I need to play a lower note, I pull back on the amount of pressure I'm putting into the instrument when I'm buzzing, and the lower note comes out. And doing these things gets you used to how to differentiate your air to play higher and lower notes. So we're going to run that through that combination, which will be at the bottom of your screen. Ba, and then add your second finger. You do the same thing. It sounds like, and so on and so forth throughout the whole thing. And that should be a decent warm up for you to play. All right, so here's your tempo. Here comes 1, 2, ready, all right. So it should be noted that we did that pretty fast. The slower you do this exercise, the more beneficial it is for you. And it's just something to get you ready to start the year. You can get through that. You're going to be okay. The lips are flapping as they should be. All right, guys. I hope this video was helpful to you, and I'll see you in the next one. And take care.